I realized that this concept in that fundamentals that leads to the center of excellence inside of an organization, COE, how critical it was, because even for us, I mean, we keep abreast of this daily. Like, we look at what's changing in our cloud platforms, what new technologies, what alpha beta features, we still can't keep up. Even now, it's difficult for us to keep up with all that's coming out or changing. So I think organizationally, we have to make sure that the organizations who are making that migration have a core team of people who are always keeping aware of what's changing and why, and looking out for the organization in that context. I think without that, they're in deep trouble. Today, we're going to be talking about the Center of Excellence and why it's critical on your cloud journey.
So Han, customers who are getting into the DevOps space in cloud have a lot of change coming up for them, right? For sure. I mean, if they move their current processes into cloud, that's they're just not recognizing all the benefits of a completely software-defined infrastructure.
No, I don't think anyone who's not either a consultant or part of the cloud platform providers really truly understands until they get there and are there for a while.
Yeah, so you have a business that's been around for a while and have a way of doing things, right? They've got all their processes and it's all based on this fixed size infrastructure and sort of that pets mentality towards servers.
Yeah.
Right. So how do they making change is hard, right? We know that. What's the best approach to implementing cloud, for the first time, or DevOps in cloud, I should say?
Well, I'll say that, like, when I first participated in cloud plans, like Google has these prepackaged cloud plans in PSO, their professional services organization, and I accompanied a lot of Googlers into these to see how they actually deploy or give a plan to deploy infrastructure for companies that are just starting that journey, right? Yeah. And what I found was, as you start with the basics, the fundamentals, as you know, like, the IAM, the folder structure, downward inheritance of permissioning, and all those things. At first, it struck me as a boring topic. Like, why is this so critical? Like, why can't we just add this on? You could read the manual,
like
all that.
Easy, right?
It seems super logical, right? But then as I saw it actually go up in front of the client and the questions the clients were kind of asking, I realized that this concept in that fundamentals that leads to the center of excellence inside of an organization, COE, how critical it was, because even for us, I mean, we keep abreast of this daily. Like, we look at what's changing in our cloud platforms, what new technologies, what alpha beta features, we still can't keep up with it. Even now, it's difficult for us to keep up with all that's coming out or changing. So I think organizationally, we have to make sure that the organizations who are making that migration have a core team of people who are always keeping aware of what's changing and why, and looking out for the organization in that context. I think without that, they're in deep trouble.
Right. Yeah. So that center of excellence, first of all, gets you off on the right foot, right? So we don't have crazy permissions going on, totally. One-off permissions, projects, or other things provisioned within cloud environments that are uncontrolled.
Yes.
Right? Sort of, they're probably starting with a set of credit card accounts out there.
Yeah.
And so you don't want your mess to spiral too far. So the center of excellence can get you started there. Tell me a little bit about how that center of excellence might help manage change for all the other people within who aren't a part of the cloud team or the center of excellence.
So, like, if we say COE is a core part of this idea of DevOps in cloud already, right?
Yeah.
So let's say this team has buy-in, or at least has visibility to executive leadership, CTO, CIO, etc. When you make the migration and you say, like, okay, we're in the cloud now, it's operating, and you're not aware of the changes or new features or new capabilities that are coming online, what happens is technically everything starts to stagnate. And so what will happen is later, you'll be forced to make these changes because of end of life of certain products or features, right? Suddenly it comes from, like, a strategic place where you can plan and look at how to implement changes accordingly, or it's an emergency fire drill and suddenly you have to make changes and your tech debt starts to increase because no one was keeping abreast of what was going on. No one was looking out for the organization. And then as the management component comes into play, I feel like the initial move to the cloud will lend you some experience, but it will not give you the experience of managing an ongoing operations in the cloud. And that takes a team of people who know what that cloud offers, what you have in place, and then the ability to understand it so deeply that they can foresee where changes and or change management needs to occur in the near future.
Yeah. So they could maybe come up with some change management programs to feed into some of the other maybe business units and in other parts of the organization in order to fully realize the benefits of cloud. I think you may come with a bias in terms of tool sets or processes on how to do something, and it's very hard. It's very hard to picture how else it might be.
That's for sure. Right? Well, I think that's the struggle, right? Like you're 15 years in, you know what's up. You've done this for a long time, and now you're faced with something that's like new enough where it's challenging your tool sets, your processes, your knowledge base. And so the immediate reaction is to be conservative and say, put the halt on it, right?
Sure.
But that's not a reality in today's time, I think. Not from the BU side, not from the business side.
Yeah.
So we need to facilitate that in a way that allows that change to happen in a controlled fashion.
Yeah, maybe could help with that culture of no that IT has.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
The BUs are kind of like tired of hearing no from IT.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's security, whether it's network, it's they've been a gate to get through to get stuff done for the BUs for a while, and the BUs started to see cloud as a way to like go around them.
Well, and that's what happens all the time, as you know.
It does.
Like the BUs stand things up and are running things, and IT is going like, we didn't authorize that, and they're like, we can't wait for you. Right?
Yeah, but that's good, right?
Right.
The BUs should be doing that.
Right, they should
that's
be pushing
awesome for them. But then they like sometimes can forget about some of the necessary things like security, disaster recovery, some of those things, right?
Yeah.
So the center of excellence could kind of come back and help them implement it right.
Yeah, like the important thing is the COE shouldn't be like all IT people. Like we need some BU input, we need some higher level executive sponsorship. I mean, at least the visibility of the COE has to be more than just the IT group, because that's not enough. I mean, the culture has to spread like all the way sometimes down to marketing, content creation, application development. Like all that has to be part of the mix as well in one way or another.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So they probably have a strategy that looks out, how far would you guess, like an average?
Well, I think they should probably have a couple of windows, like something like in the 90-day, like to 6 month to a year or something in that range.
Okay.
Because like if you do CD, for instance, like that window starts to narrow really fast, right? But in terms of like the strategic overview of how we begin to implement a COE and what the COE should be doing, I think we should start in a couple of areas, because some things are going to be more tactical. Some things you're not going to be able to get to. It's too big of a change at once, right?
Yeah.
So we put it on the roadmap and say eventually we'll get there down the line.
Yeah, it depends on who you are then, right?
Right, exactly.
I mean, where everyone has their own sort of spot that they're at today in terms of maturity and able to handle change.
Sure.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for watching this episode of CloudUp.
Leave your comments and questions below and win some Agosto swag.
Thanks, and see you next time.